Hello y'all, and welcome to the YoungFolkKnits channel. Today I wanted to chat about 10 knitted top patterns that have caught my eye for spring and summer of 2023. Hello y'all, and welcome to the YoungFolkKnits channel. My name is Casey, and on this channel I mainly talk about knitting, crochet, spinning, sometimes sewing. I also like to share about living on a small farm here in Arkansas where my husband and I and our children are beekeepers. We love to raise chickens and animals and gardens, and we really love spending time outdoors here in the foothills of the Ozarks. So if any of that sounds like your cup of tea, then make sure and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss out on any new video content. Today's video, however, is all about spring and summer knitted tops. I did a video like this last year, and I've noticed that there's just so many new summer patterns and new patterns that have caught my eye. Maybe they are not recently released, but I wanted to do another video to share 10 tops that have recently caught my eye and I would really love to make. One thing I've noticed, which is a bit disappointing, is that of all the different kinds of knitting patterns, summer tops seems to be the absolutely least size inclusive of all the categories. I really hate that, and that has definitely decreased my options, because if you've watched my channel before, then you know that I am not a skinny mini. I definitely have a full bust, and I normally need to knit a size extra large or a size 5 in most knitting patterns. Sometimes if I want a lot of positive ease, I need to knit the size 6. There's a lot of summer patterns that only even have size small, medium, and large. So I've definitely tried to find some tops that have more sizes. And one thing that I think is really helpful is to understand knitting math. Megha from Skeins of Dreams recently even put out a video about knitting math and understanding how to alter knitting patterns, and I think that is really useful if a top doesn't come in the size that we might need. Then knowing how to do the math helps so much, even in making small adjustments to a size that the pattern does have, but maybe you need to customize it for different areas of your body. One adjustment I often have to make is length. Almost all patterns, especially summer patterns, which tend to be a little bit shorter, are just absolutely not long enough for me. So I usually have to add an inch or so of length. I'm 5'8", so I'm above average in height, and I don't like for everything I make to be a crop top. Other things I've noticed in patterns that I don't love at the moment, a boat neck. I feel like it just squeezes the life out of my neck. I don't want that when I'm hot. I also find that because I have a rather full bust, I have to wear a bra. So spaghetti straps just don't cut it for me. I also don't like cap sleeves. I feel like it hits me at the largest part of my arm, which is not flattering at all. I like a sleeve to hit me, you know, a little bit further down. So let's go ahead and jump in, and I will share with you some tops that have been on my radar. I have these listed in no particular order, so commence random order pattern analysis. First of all on my list is the Ingrid top, which is a pattern by Gregoria Fibers, and it is a sport weight gauge. It's a sleeveless pattern, but it has this open eyelet lacework on it, which definitely makes it breathable and I think gives it a really fun texture. The sample was knit up in Gregoria Fibers Field, which is a blend of cotton, silk, and linen that actually looks really nice. I've never tried that yarn before, and I'm not even sure where to get it, but I think a couple of really nice substitutes in the sport weight category. First of all, I really like Quince & Co. Willet. It's a sport weight 100% cotton yarn, and there's a really nice range of colors in that. It's $8.50 for 160 yards. It's a 50-gram skein. I also really like the Kelburn Woolens Mojave yarn. It is sport weight as well, and it is 60% cotton and 40% linen. It is $11 for a 50-gram skein. You're getting 185 yards. And they have some super fun colors. I really like the mauve color. I love that natural color. I think both of those would be a really nice substitute. This pattern comes in 8 sizes with a finished bust measurement of 31.2 inches up to a 48.9 inch bust. It's not the most inclusive. I would definitely have to make the largest size. Hope for the best. Another pattern I really like is the Petal Party Crop, which is a pattern by Samantha Guerin. It is a light fingering, and she used a merino nylon 4-ply yarn. I think that this pattern would be so pretty knit up in the Knitting for Olive Pure Silk. I also think that some of the 100% linen yarns, like Quince & Co. Sparrow, I actually have some. I have some in the penny color, which I love so much. So beautiful. I actually got this yarn to make a top out of Pom Pom magazine, and I never finished it. And I'm probably going to rip it out and use the linen for something else. But I think this is a really lovely 100% linen yarn from Quince & Co. I also think this would be great in Sandnes Tin Lina. Is that how you say it? I always forget. But anyway, we have an Air Force base not too far from here, so I swear they practice maneuvers over our house at all times. Actually, they wait until I decide to record and then they practice. They know my schedule. Sandnes Tin Lina, I think is how you say it. But it is 53% cotton, 33% viscose, 14% linen. I love this yarn. I have used it in summer tops before, and it's just really nice. They have so many great colors. It's $7.50 for a 50-gram ball, which is 240 yards. So I think that is an absolutely excellent option to keep in mind. This has 10 sizes with a finished bust circumference going from 32 inches to 68 inches. A new pattern that was just released is the Surrey Shirt by Kadri. And she used BC Garn Tussa Tweed, which is a fingering weight or a light fingering. It's 100% silk. It is plied and it's got a lot of tweedy pieces in it. It's really interesting. I love the slubbiness and the cool texture that it provides. I think that 100% silk is absolutely amazing for summer knits. She has sizes extra small through 5XL, which has a bust circumference of 38.5 inches to 63 inches. It looks like a drop shoulder pattern. And I love the sort of oversized flowiness of it and the split hem at the bottom. I could totally see this being worn with linen pants walking down the beach. This is actually yarn I'm really interested in trying out. Looks like it's about $22, but there is one color on sale at Fancy Tiger Crafts for $15. Another pattern I have had in my queue for a while, and I have yarn to make it, is the Sungazer top, which is a pattern by James N. Watts. It is in sport weight yarn, and it comes in 4 sizes with a bust from 28 to 60 inches. I actually have skeins of yarn from Coast to Coast Yarn Co. that Erin dyed up. I think that they would be so beautiful in this top. I think it would be a really fun pattern. I also think that if you wanted to make it bigger, you could probably even knit a side panel on each side. Looks like it has a really interesting construction. This would be a fun process knit. If you wanted to make it super summery, I think that the sport weight yarns I mentioned earlier, the Mojave, also De Rerum Natura has the linen yarn, 100% linen yarn, Antigone, I believe is how you say it. But I do think that yarns with some variegation would be really pretty in this pattern. A blended yarn like merino and silk. Craft Me Not Yarn Co. had some silk and wool base that she was dyeing up per request, so she may still have some of that this year. Another pattern I really love is the Retro Button Top by Witter Design. and it is a worsted weight pattern. It's going to be worked flat, and I just think there's something really cute about a scoop neck, oversized button-up top for the summertime. This comes with a finished bust from 76 centimeters to 136 centimeters. I'm not even going to try to translate that to inches. I don't know, but I really like it. I think an awesome yarn for this would be Sandnes Garn Lena, which is the worsted weight version of the 10 Lena, which I talked about earlier, and it's got the same cotton, viscose, and linen in it. Great price, big color selection. I think that would be perfect for this top. I actually have some in stash, and I would love to make this at some point. Another really fun top that I like is the Sea Breeze Sweater Vest, which is a pattern by Park Williams. She used the Kelburn Woolens Mojave, which is classified as a DK weight on Ravelry, but in a lot of stores I'm seeing it as a sport weight. So I'm not sure, but it is a 19 stitch gauge. This is a really open knit fabric, so I think this would be really cute over a bathing suit, but I also think it would be really cute over like a little camisole. My friend Becky is wanting to make this as part of her vibe this year, summer Mediterranean vacation. I think this top would be super cute with a really flowy linen skirt. I actually think this would be really nice in the Mojave, but I would probably make this in a neutral color, like a cream. I think that would be really nice. Also, this has size range from extra small to 5XL, so a 34-inch bust to a 66.5-inch bust. Next up is the Bowline by Layla Raven. Bowline. It is a fingering weight pattern, and it is actually knit up for the sample in the Quince & Co. Sparrow. This is one pattern that I actually thought I might use this yarn that I had, rip out the other pattern that wasn't working for me, and knit this top instead. I love how the fit is this really oversized, flowy, drop shoulder vibe. So this is actually knit flat and then you seam it together. Looks like it comes with a finished circumference of 43 inches to 87 inches. So that is awesome as far as size inclusivity goes. It does call for 15.5 inches of positive ease, and I have found that when it comes to tops, that the bigger your bust is, I feel like the less positive ease you need to get the same effect. If you have a really slender person and their bust in proportion is slender as well, and you have the positive ease, it looks a certain way on them, whereas if you had that same amount of 15 inches of positive ease on someone with a 45-inch bust or 47-inch bust that has a large difference between their upper and full bust, that it just does not look the same. So I usually have to go down on the amount of positive ease that I use to get a similar effect in my tops. All the other tops I have shown so far have been really flowy and that breezy summer vibe, but one that is a little bit more of a fitted silhouette. Now it's a rooster. This is the Ripple Crop Top Worsted by Jessie Made Designs, and the ribbing definitely gives it a more fitted silhouette. She has the same pattern in a fingering weight gauge and the DK weight gauge, and I would definitely prefer the DK weight gauge because that's a lot of ribbing. I think that the Pearl Soho Pure Cotton would be really nice in this. Of course, I think any DK weight merino would be nice. Definitely going to be warmer, but for spring and fall, I still think that that would be fine. So she calls for 5 to 7 inches of positive ease, and she has a size range from 28 inches to a 62-inch bust on this pattern. I think I would definitely need to add length, so if I made this top, I would for sure order an extra skein of yarn. Another pattern I really love is the Selja by Jana Hieltala. I'm sure I said none of that correctly. It was published by Lana Magazine, and this is a fingering and fingering held together or an Aran weight gauge, but it is such an open weave fabric that it's almost sheer, and I do not think that it would be hot at all. I think that another great option for this would be the Sannisgarn Lena. It is a worsted weight yarn, and I think that that cotton linen viscose mix would be so beautiful in this. It has finished bust sizes from 38 inches to 61.5 inches, and I would just absolutely love to have this in a creamy beige neutral color. Another pattern I really like is the Montpellier top by Anne Fiscum Sunde. These names are killing me. This is a sleeveless, almost vest-like top, and it has a worsted weight gauge. The sample was knit in Sannisgarn Lena as well, and I think it just looks really cool. I love the almost chunky look to it, but it looks like it has an opaque enough fabric that you would not need to wear anything underneath it. I recently got this yarn from Greenaway Co, and it is a superwash merino and linen blend, and it is an Aran weight, and I think that it would be really nice for this top. I only have 4 skeins of it, so it would definitely have to be something sleeveless. And I think that this is what I'm going to use this yarn for. And I'm going to throw one more in there, which might just be the perfect t-shirt. And that is the Moonset Tea by Haley Smedley, who is known as Ozetta on Instagram. This is a fingering weight top, and it comes in finish bust measurement of 36 inches to 63 inches. This has a really nice v-neck. I love the detailing of the v-neck. I also love the drop shoulder fit. I think that that tends to be the most flattering on my body type. She uses Knitting for Olive pure silk, which I absolutely love. I have a few different colors actually in my stash, so I would love to use one of those for this pattern. I like that it has an opaque enough fabric that you don't need to wear anything under it. It has quite a bit of coverage, and it looks like something you could throw on and be really comfortable in. You don't have to worry about what you're wearing under it. You don't have to worry about what you're wearing with it. I like that it's not cropped. It's just a really nice amount of coverage, and the fit looks so comfortable, and I think in pure silk it would be absolutely heavenly. I will say this, it is knit on 2.75 millimeters and 3.25 millimeter needles, so I think that that in pure silk is going to be a slog. It's pure stockinette, so I'm sure that's, you know, probably miserable to knit, but absolutely worth it. I think that it would probably be the most wearable piece. All of these patterns that I have mentioned, I have talked about using yarns that have cotton, linen, viscose, silk, bamboo, and all of those plant fibers or non-wool fibers are very hard on my hands when I knit with them. It causes a lot of hand pain. So I would definitely say if you choose to knit one of these summer tops and you find yourself dealing with that, make sure and take breaks. Sometimes people say using bamboo or wooden needles can also help to grip that slippery yarn and can be a little bit easier on your hands. But I think if you make sure and take breaks whenever your hands start to get tired, then you will be just fine. If you have another summer top that you love and you think we would love to, then make sure and let us know in the comments about what patterns you've been eyeing lately. And if you enjoy videos like this, then please subscribe to the channel. It really helps me out so much, and I always appreciate your comments and likes as well. Thank y'all so much for hanging out with me today, and until next time, happy knitting, y'all.